This is Lee Dort, and I'm down to dunk. This is Lee Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
I'm Josh Giddey, and I'm down to dunk.
Hey, this is Kenny Hustle, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Darius Baisley, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Poku, and I'm down to dunk.
I love cereal. Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cracklin' Oat Bran.
Oh, I can have these. I'm going to share with my team, but I'm going to hog most of them.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me today, as always on Wednesdays, is my good friend, Alex Spears. Alex, what's up?
What's up, Andrew? NBA schedule, not a huge fan of the Wednesday pod. I don't think we've had a game to talk about for 2 weeks.
They play. I know.
They never play.
They play on Wednesdays almost every single week. It's part of our problem. Yeah, they don't ever play Tuesdays. Tuesday is the new TNT night, you know? And
oh, yeah.
The Thunder don't play.
Well, it's a bummer, Andrew.
It is. It is. I know. And even the Blues schedule doesn't really help us because the Blue play at noon today in Oklahoma City. And Poku obviously will be playing in this game. Teo will play in this game. So that will be I wish that I had that game to even talk about, but we don't even have that.
And you are going to that. You're going to be live and in person.
I'll be there. I have to go. I have to go watch Poku. Hopefully they unleash him. I'll be very worried if he's not unleashed. You know?
Who's the big match against?
The big...
Who are we playing today?
You know what? I looked at the schedule only to look at the time of the game.
You haven't scouted?
Oh, no way, bro.
Because the Blue are good this year.
Sure. I'm not much of a G League observer, to be honest. They play the Stockton Kings is who they play today.
Okay. Very cool.
Should be a fun one.
Now you get awesome seats for the real games. Do you get even better seats for the Blue game?
I don't know. I don't know how they get better, honestly.
Well, you could be directly courtside.
Yeah, I've sat scores table a few times. So the reason that they don't set a scores table every time is because it depends on the TV crew. So, like if the TV crew travels, like the Lakers TV crew travels, the Rockets TV crew travels, then they take up like 4 or 5 seats on the front row.
Yeah.
But when they're gone, we get to sit there. But yeah, I don't know that the Stockton Kings TV crew will be here today. So I hopefully we'll get to sit there today. I don't know. They may put me up in Cloud City today. I don't know.
No, that'd be terrible.
It'd be kind of hilarious. It's all in some ways it's a good viewing experience way up there. Yeah, the Stockton Kings. Who plays for the Stockton Kings? Who cares?
I bet it's what's that guy's name? Robert Woodard. Is he playing?
Oh yeah, Woodard. That would make sense.
And then who's the other? I only know these guys from watching people open basketball cards on YouTube because they always get so depressed when they land a non-Tyrese rookie.
The 7-footer from Utah State is on this team.
Oh yeah.
Jamias Ramsey is on this team.
Yeah, that's the other guy, Jamias Ramsey.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Robert Woodard is on this team.
I like that.
I like that.
He said in response to Jamias Ramsey.
I do. I like him with the draft. Trayshawn Thurman. That's a name.
Trayshawn. You were telling us that you learned that Trey Mans, that he goes by Trayshawn.
He does go by Trayshawn.
Which is very close to Tayshawn, which Taylor was very excited about.
It was a glorious day when we found out that he goes.
Although I realized it's on Basketball Reference.
I know. I saw that too. I first noticed it when who was it? I think it was Shea that commented on his Instagram post, like Trayshawn. It's like, oh, what? Trayshawn.
I also learned his middle name is Albert.
That's a great name. Trayshawn Albert. I like that. I like that a lot. So Poku will play for the Blue today, Mark already said that he will be recalled tonight and be with the team. My guess is that it would just, to me, it makes sense for Poku to go back tomorrow and practice the G League again and then play again on Friday. They play Friday night, and then you can recall him and he can play on Saturday. To me, it makes way more sense to do that than for it just to be today and then stay back with the Thunder. So just the way the schedule falls, where you don't have a ton of games this week and you're at home, it makes a ton of sense. And I don't know of anybody that has a problem with Poku playing with the Blue. He hasn't played well enough to make anybody feel like this is like a demotion or a travesty or anything like that. Like this is just a part of his development, and like he needs to be able to go get some minutes and get some shots up. It's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously coming into the season, we were all hoping that at this point, we're watching 25 minutes of Poku a night.
Yeah.
But you look at his overall stats, like his play has not warranted that as
Mhm.
much as we would like to see it. And you compare his age, I mean, he's, younger than Trey Mann. Like it makes perfect sense why he would why they'd want him to get more time in the G League.
Yeah. He's 19 still. I think he's the 12th youngest player in the league still.
Is he? Oh, his birthday's the day after Christmas.
It is. Yeah, he turns 20 on the 26th.
Oh, well, if you go to the Shop Good thing tomorrow night, you got to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy early birthday, Poku. Yeah.
That would be like the lame thing I'd come up with to say to him. I would have no idea what to say. Hey, happy birthday, Poku.
Hey, happy early birthday. No, the big 2-0's coming up next week.
Talking to a 19-year-old.
Oh, Lord.
That sounds terrifying. I don't know how you do it. I couldn't talk to these guys.
Yeah.
I feel like too big of a dork.
Yeah. No, they honestly, like it's a just, and I've said this a lot this year, but it is legitimately a great group of guys, and they're all pretty easy to talk to. Trey in particular is awesome. I'm a big Trey Mann guy. Speaking of Poku, we've got Poku packs tomorrow, downtown OKC. You can go pick up one of these. You can pick it up today. You can pick it up tomorrow at the Poku Pack party downtown at Shop Good, 6 to 8 p.m. Really nice, great quality inside. You also have multiple zippers, so if you want to put something inside a pack.
Wow.
So more valuables. And then the second one is pretty cool. It's got the P for Poku. For a family, which one should I wear on a family vacation now? What do you think?
Oh, the left one. The left one is more tropical, the blue and the red. I'm assuming you're going somewhere tropical. Otherwise, why leave?
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Be there 6 to 8 p.m. Wear a mask. We're going to be indoors. We're going to be in close proximity to everybody. So wear a mask and come hang out with Poku. Get yours autographed. And it's going to be an awesome time.
I'm just imagining myself walking up to Poku and like holding out my hand, like to shake his hand and feeling so weird. Hi, Poku. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a 34-year-old man.
Oh, it's Alex. Yeah. I don't know. I saw Poku out the other night at Cheevers.
What, out?
Yeah.
Who was he with? His family?
His girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you go up and say hi, or did you give him a nod like, "Oh, I'm in the biz"? What's up, coworker?
No. I saw him across the restaurant. I was like, he definitely does not want to see me here tonight. He has zero interest in talking to, or giving a head nod to me. So no.
Bring your gaggle of kids over to him.
Hey,
Poku.
We were out with some friends. We weren't with the kids that night.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to leave him alone tonight. But yeah, it should be fun. Come hang out. Grab if you want or have interest in having a pack. Like, this is the pack to get. Honestly.
If you've been thinking about getting into
people are
packs,
into it. I was seriously. I was in Vegas, and like everybody they do like the crossbody pack.
Yeah.
I mean, I was walking down the street, and probably like 1 out of every 5 people had one on. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what is this?
I have a very nice Adidas one.
People wear them, man. I don't know. I'm just saying it would be even like if Poku becomes the greatest player ever or just what he is today, it's cool to have to me.
Yeah, either way. And
Either
if he becomes the greatest player ever, I mean, that's actually either way. It's a relic of this moment in Thunder history. It'll be even cooler 10 years from now, no matter what happens.
Yeah, and you can say like I bought it when the greatest player of all time was playing for the Blue.
Yeah. Do you are there any mementos like that from the first kind of decade of Thunder basketball? That I'm trying to think of like what like I still have my program from the very first game.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
That I hold on to
Bucks game?
against the Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what mementos I have. I have like some.
You probably have a lot of the tree and leaf shirts.
Yeah, I've got tree and leaf shirts, definitely. Man, I mean, I've got some autograph stuff from that era.
Yeah.
Like I've got like a Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Jeff Green autograph photo that I have.
Oh,
framed up.
photo.
Yeah. I got a bunch of James Harden autograph stuff. I got stuff like that.
That's cool. That's cool. Nope. No packs though. No fanny packs.
Nothing as cool as a pack though. Nothing
Yeah.
as cool as a pack. Okay, Al. It's trade season, and December 15th is today. It's great.
Yeah.
I stand
How cool would that be if there was a trade that broke right now?
It'd be awesome. I'd be here for that. Let's see. Man, so much COVID news. It's just it's getting really, really dicey here.
Okay, here's one.
Mm-hmm.
Now who is this guy? Mike Scotto. Heard of him?
Oh, Mike Scotto. Yeah.
Scotto.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Sources: Pelicans discuss trading future first-round picks and pick swaps for Ben Simmons.
Oh.
There's something. There's a little. What do we call it? Scuttlebutt.
This little scuttle? Huh.
Just a
That's
little,
interesting.
just a tiny bit.
That to me like signals that they're not going to just try to be done for this season. You know.
I hope.
I hope too. Thunder play them tonight. Lou Dort is listed as out. I assume he won't play unless his status would have to change dramatically for him to be able to play. This is kind of a big one. They both have 8 wins. Be nice for them to get their 9th win and for us to get a loss. This is a double tank win tonight.
Yeah, because Orlando, Detroit, they're going to be fighting with us till the end.
Yeah.
The two that are up in the air are New Orleans and Houston. I feel like Houston eventually pulls the levers that they're going to pull, which at the very least is an Eric Gordon trade, but maybe even a Christian Wood trade, and they'll end up being bad. But if they can, I obviously want Houston to rack up as many wins right now as they possibly can.
This run has been unbelievable.
It has, and it's some of their young guys because, obviously Jalen Green isn't playing, but like Josh Christopher had a really nice game the other night and finally got like some play. And then Şengün, they let him finish a game, which was like the first time he'd ever gotten to do that. So there is some of their young guys, but they still have just a lot of older guys on this team, which is probably why they're winning so much. You replace Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green with just like 2 random NBA vets, and all of a sudden the team is like decent.
Yeah, I mean, they're more than decent. They're 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, they're great.
Their only losses have been against Milwaukee and Memphis. I mean, they beat Atlanta. They beat Brooklyn. They beat Oklahoma City twice.
Well, tonight's the real test. They play the Cavs.
Yeah, they play the Cavs. Yeah, that's they're going to lose that one. But then they get New York, Detroit. They get Chicago, and we don't know what
everything.
Kind of Chicago will be in. Like there should be some more wins coming Houston's way, which is just a glorious, glorious gift to Thunder fans because it looked like, I mean, they had lost how many in a row was it?
Was it 17? I believe.
I think 15.
15?
15 in a row. I mean, that is nuts. And then they just win all these games. It's just wonderful. It's just a delightful treat.
And meanwhile, Detroit legitimately could break their record.
Yeah.
For this season because they're at 12 losses in a row. They had the game against the Bulls postponed.
Yep.
Then they're going to play the Pacers, who are suddenly fine, and then they're going to play Houston, Miami. So that would get them up to 15 right there, and then they'd have a game at MSG against the Knicks.
Yeah. Oh, so good, so good. You tweeted something about how you were listening to the Game Theory pod, and you were excited that there were at least 4 guys that they were debating about.
Yeah, I was. That made me feel a little bit better because obviously coming into this season, everyone's just talking about Chet and Paolo, and then there's a lot of people who just like do not like Chet. You haven't heard that many people who just don't like Paolo. Like most everyone likes Paolo, but there are people who have legit concerns about Chet and like would prefer to stay away from him. Let's just say Jay from the Fry Pod not excited about Chet as of right now.
He's almost averaging 4 blocks a game.
He's very good. I like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as the season starts, and seems like there's going to be a lot of teams fighting with us for tanking, you just start to get worried. And I think Jaden Ivey breaking out in the way he has, and watching some of the film on him, like his explosiveness is kind of incredible.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And so who knows? I mean, right now they both had him 4th, but we don't know how the lottery's going to shake out, and there might be a team in the top 3 who's covered as far as bigs are concerned, and Jaden Ivey's like the perfect prospect that they would want to take.
Yeah.
And maybe one of those bigs gets bumped down to 4, and so now you have a little bit more wiggle room. I just want wiggle room, Andrew. That's all I want.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I absolutely hear you on that.
And apparently, I didn't watch the game, but Jalen Duren had a great game last night as well against Alabama.
I'm a fan of Jalen Duren. Like, he's not, everybody thinks traditional big, but he's more mobile than that, than like some like plotting Jahlil Okafor guy,
Yeah. He shot 78% last night. He had like an 84% game. Like, he's obviously not shooting threes, and so in that respects, he is going to be a traditional big. But watching him, like, he had so many lobs last night. I was watching his highlights. Having a lob threat like that with Shea or with Giddey, like, it would just make the offense so much more fun.
Yeah, you watch Josh, and this happened I think it was second half of the Lakers game, where like it was just like screen and roll for Derek Favors, very simple play, and Josh just like knows just how to find them, And so if you just have somebody like Favors is like baseline competence, as far as like NBA bigs go.
Yeah.
You have somebody that's just even like above average, not even like great. Like Giddey could make that guy look incredible. And that's Jalen Duren would look awesome with this crew, especially if you have like this rim running, high flying guy that is putting pressure on the rim as Shea is putting pressure on the rim. That's pretty fun. You'd still need somebody to shoot, because then everybody could just pack the paint. But if you found a shooter too, like that would be incredible.
That would be ideal. Definitely need shooting going forward. Even though we have Steph 2.0 and Lou Dort, we do need at least a couple more shooters.
Yeah, teams have been closing out on Lou a little bit more, which is encouraging. But still, he's not like the knockdown shooter that you dream of. He's a multi-tool player that has been. He's been awesome this year.
Yeah,
and it's great he's not playing tonight against the Pelicans. Okay.
I wanted to look up what was the best. Oh, okay. So I was looking at Marcus Smart's stats because he often gets compared to him. Yeah. He had one season where he shot 36% from 3. That was probably his best shooting season.
Mm-hmm.
But like this year, he's back down to 27%. It just makes a huge difference. Like if Dort ends up being like the 4th best player or the 4th starter on like the next good Thunder team, him shooting like 34 to 36% is just so helpful.
Yeah. And the fact that he's confident doing it, that you never see him hesitate, I think that is wildly important for his career. What I think I asked McKelly about this on Monday, but what did you read KOC's piece that included some Lou Dort love?
I did not, but I'll fake it.
All right.
Yes. I love seeing that.
Well, he in the piece he mentioned that he thinks he's better than Marcus Smart.
Oh yeah, I heard you talking. I heard you mention that on Monday.
What do you think about that? I mean, we're watching the Celtics this week for Slam and Jam. You have thoughts on that?
True. I mean, I definitely think it's more likely now than I did previously. Because previously you would say like if he could just become Marcus Smart, wow, what a steal that is as an undrafted free agent, which is absolutely true. But now, yes, it does feel like he could be better. There is like an aspect of Marcus Smart's game though, like the intangibles that I don't necessarily know that Lou Dort has that. Like I don't think of Lou Dort as like the heart and soul of the Thunder team necessarily in the way that people talk about Marcus Smart that way. And like I think of Kenrich Williams in that way.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that is, like
More
that's something
on the court though, man. Like I've seen Lou just turn up and the team can shift. And Kenrich has that too. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like Kenrich has it too. Lou's got some of that too. I don't know. He's become a much better player than I've ever imagined, you know.
Yeah, I think, you know, the next step at least comparing him to Marcus Smart, like obviously Marcus Smart was a point guard in college. And so he's a much better playmaker throughout his career than Lou Dort will probably ever be.
Yeah. But
So
we don't need him to be that. Like the Celtics
you don't
need him to be that, and he can't do it to the degree that they need him to. You know, like they need a playmaker really bad. You know, if they had somebody, I mean, they're kind of making all these guys that are pretty good playmakers be their primary guys. I think like that's like the biggest problem that they're having. Like if they had Rubio or somebody like that, like I'd feel a lot better about the Celtics. Like I think that somebody to just set the table to get these guys easy shots, to pass them open. You know, I see Giddey, and Giddey has a long way to go, but Giddey's already like passing guys open, you know, into shots and into like layups and stuff like that. So,
do they need Teo?
Hey, you guys need a Teo Maladone on your team, Boston Celtics? Get to watch him today here in just a bit as well.
It's going to be a loaded team. I think Roby is going to be playing too, right?
Yeah. I guess Isaiah Roby. Yeah. Should be fun.
Okay, do you want to talk about some trades?
Yeah, let's take a quick break. And then we'll talk some trades. And we're back from that quick break. Time to talk trades.
So obviously there's been some news in the past week. The most relevant of that news for Thunder fans has been that Cam Reddish is apparently available. Shams Charania has said that the Hawks are looking for a first-round pick, which doesn't seem like that much, something we could easily do. And so why not consider him? But why not consider a bunch of guys, a bunch of young guys? Because, you know, there's they don't have to go out and make a trade. But if there was a possibility to bring in a guy who's been in one of the recent drafts just to get a look at someone else, because I feel like, especially in the front court, like there are minutes available. Obviously, we're filling those minutes right now.
Oh, there's minutes.
There are minutes available if there is someone out there that they might be interested in just getting a look at. Like, I'm not saying we're going out there to make the Karl Anthony Towns trade and give up all our picks. I'm just talking about guys who maybe aren't playing a lot or aren't playing well, just to get a second look at it. So I went back the last 3 drafts, and Cam Reddish will be included here, so we'll get to him eventually. Just to pick out some names, kind of see how you feel about those guys, what you would be willing to give up for them, if anything. Do you think it's worth even talking about? Okay. And this is all because last year at this time, remember, we were talking about Hamidou Diallo and how he had completely transformed. Hamidou Diallo has developed into this potentially long-term piece. And when he was traded, I think we very quickly justified the trade and made, you know, the calculations in our head. Oh, okay, maybe he wasn't a long-term piece. They would rather have the second rounder. They don't want to pay him on his next contract. This is actually very in line with Presti's whole thinking. But this time last year, that would have actually been kind of surprising because he was playing so well, and there just weren't a lot of guys on the roster that we were excited about. So it's like, maybe Hami's going to be a guy, and then they trade him.
Traded him in the middle of a movie. I was trying to watch a movie with my kids.
What movie?
Couldn't even watch the movie. Raya and the Last Dragon.
Okay.
Great movie. Great.
Ryan the Last Dragon. And who knows? Maybe that will happen again. You know, they'll bring in another Svi. We'll get a look at him, and then he'll evaporate into nothingness, and we'll never see him again. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with the 2018 draft. So this was like the Shea draft, the Luka draft, Trey. These ones are harder because these guys are extension eligible. These guys are restricted free agents.
Yeah.
This summer.
You have to want to pay them.
You have to want to pay them, or you have to be like willing to pay their qualifying offer in at least one case. Okay. Sure. So the first name, obviously, Marvin Bagley. He's been talked about forever. He should have been moved 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The problem with Marvin Bagley is that I don't know if there's anyone who wants to give him a contract this summer. And they certainly probably don't want to give him a contract that's worth more than what his qualifying offer is next year. Like he could come out and make like $11 million or something next year.
He's making 11 right now.
Yeah, just by taking his qualifying offer.
Yeah.
Assuming it's not pulled. And so the reason I would consider Marvin Bagley is because he does not make you better at all. In fact, he makes your defense significantly worse potentially.
Yeah.
And that has been the one thing keeping OKC afloat.
Mm-hmm.
And so why not bring him in? You can play him at center, see what happens. I'm open to it, Andrew.
What's the trade?
I don't think it would take that much. Like I don't.
Second.
Who is going to give them a first, knowing that you have to pay him? Like you're either getting like a few months of Marvin Bagley, and then you're declining his qualifying offer.
Yeah.
In which case you don't want to give up hardly anything, or you like are willing to pay that $11 million qualifying offer, or extend him. Like what would even a contract extension for him look like? Like it would be like 3 years, $15 million, and he wouldn't take that because he's like, I can make $11 million next year, and then just go into unrestricted free agency. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be willing to give up that much at all.
No.
But if they like one of our young players, like a Teo, or I mean, probably not. They have so many guards, but you know,
do you like a Teo?
Do you like a Teo? But you know, who else? Who else is on our team?
Who else? Who else could it be? Isaiah Roby.
Sure, something like that.
Yeah.
If they had any interest,
I'd give them the 2023 Wizards second round pick for him.
Would you throw in Ty Jerome?
Sure.
Okay. So that might be how far we're willing to go with Marvin Bagley, but open to it.
I'm open to giving up close to nothing for him. Yes.
Okay. Next one. I only bring this up because people talk about it all the time. Colin Sexton. He's injured right now. He's going to be out, I think, the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. And he's likely going to get some type of contract offer this year. This is not a Marvin Bagley situation. Mm-hmm. So you would have to love Colin Sexton because regardless of what you think about him, I'm guessing he's still probably going to get a very large contract this summer.
Yeah.
Simply because he's proven himself to be an efficient scorer.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't play defense. He's kind of small. I don't think he'd be a good fit with Shea.
Yeah. No, he's not.
But
it's also a little worrying that the Cavs just don't miss him at all.
Zero.
You know, that's kind of a problem whenever you're like the top scorer on the team and then you're gone and then the team
gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of Colin Sexton, but I'd be open to another team trading. I was actually thinking like, you know, pairing him with Ben Simmons as your like backcourt, maybe something like that would work. Sure. Like I think there's scenarios where Colin Sexton's going to like wildly succeed in this league. I don't think it's playing next to Shea though.
Yeah,
that they would be so bad defensively because it's like, are you really starting him over Lou Dort? And if you're not, okay, so now are you shifting Lou Dort to the 3, and now you're kind of just small?
Like there's just I mean,
not for me.
There's no logic in that one.
Zero logic.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one in 2018. I only bring this up because I could imagine a scenario where this would work. Anthony Simons for Portland. I bring him up because, as we talked about in Slam and Jam, like they need picks to be able to make significant upgrade trades. and the one guy on their roster who might be worth sending a pick out would be Anthony Simons.
Yeah.
As I wrote him down, though, and I like Anthony Simons. He's been like a 40% shooter most of his career. He's doing way more off the dribble this year. But as I was researching him, and I texted you last night, I could not believe how short he is. If you had asked me how tall Anthony Simons is, I would have told you 6'6". I thought he was big. He is 6'3".
Yeah.
He is shorter than Trey Mann, who, by the way, if you had asked me how tall Trey Mann is, I would have thought 6'3". Trey Mann is apparently 6'5".
Yeah.
So, because I was thinking, like, if you didn't believe in Trey Mann, Anthony Simons is like a more developed version of Trey Mann. But then I saw their difference in height, and I was like, not really worth it. But I just thought I'd bring him up because I could see another team trading for him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I'd be willing to give up what it would take to get him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably take, if they're just looking at picks, I bet someone would send them 2 protected first for Anthony Simons. I really do believe that.
Heck no.
Yeah. Okay, so now we move to 2019. Now it's a little bit more flexible. So these are guys that you could extend this summer if you wanted to, but won't be a restricted free agent until 2 summers from now.
Yep.
So the first guy, let's get him out of the way, Cam Reddish. Everyone's talking about him. He's already in the news. We know there's a roster crunch in Atlanta. The problem with Cam Reddish, I feel like, is that everyone knows Atlanta doesn't want to pay his next contract. Yeah. Not even because they don't necessarily like him. It's just that they have so many other big contracts on the books.
But it's also that they don't necessarily like him.
True, because if he
liked him, they would extend him. Like, it would be a no-brainer.
If he was the player that's, I feel like some people think he is, at least based on how they talk about him on Twitter, like Atlanta would keep him. The fact that he's even available is kind of a red flag, especially when you compare him to like DeAndre Hunter, who I think has been better, but he's also been hurt like over and over again. And yet you never hear his name come up in trade rumors because they've seen how important he is to their team. Jacob Niffen on Twitter did one of those like player A, player B, and had the career stats for Cam Reddish and Darius Bazley. They are basically the exact same players if you're just looking at the career. Now, the argument for Cam is that he has gotten better this year. He is shooting 37% from 3 this year on over 5 attempts per game. We saw what he could do in the playoffs defensively. 4 threes per game. Yeah. We saw what he did in the playoffs last year defensively. Like, he really did have some flashes in big moments that made you think, oh, okay. Personally, I would be perfectly happy if the Thunder went after him. I just don't know how much I'm willing to give up. The trade idea that was thrown out on Twitter was Kenrich Williams and one of our bad firsts for Cam Reddish. And my first reaction was, well, if they're only asking for a first, why would you throw in Kenrich? No reason to do that. Just give them the first if you like Cam Reddish. I would be open to it, but I'm not like all in.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Cam Reddish guy. I'm just not. I think he needs a lot of time. He needs a lot. And he's good enough to stay with your team, but not, I don't think he would get sent to the blue or anything like that, but I don't know. I'm just kind of meh on that. And the only thing that would make me want to bring him here is like the respect that he garners amongst his peers. Like, he's a guy that, like, AAU circuit, like high school stuff, where other players are like, yeah, that was like the best player I ever played against in high school was Cam Reddish. Like, they just rave about him. So that would be the only, like, I'd be like, all right, let's just give it a try. But like, I don't want to give up Kenrich and a first. That's just a lot, because I think Kenrich on his contract is worth a lot,
But you say a lot. What does that really mean? He's probably worth a late first. Like, who's giving a first that could become a lottery pick for Kenrich Williams?
No, you're not. But a late first, yes. But am I going to give a player that's worth a late first and another late first for a guy who's probably only worth a late first? Like, no, that's double. You're paying.
Right.
That's what I mean. Like, I give either or, probably.
Yeah.
I would give Kenrich to them, or I'd give a first that looks like it's going to be a late first.
I also think it's interesting with Cam Reddish that his name has been out there in trade rumors for a while now.
Yeah.
And all you've ever heard is that they wanted a first. And the fact that they haven't made a deal thus far is kind of interesting because you just would think like he's kind of become the new Marvin Bagley, where like every team's fan is like, well, if it's just a first, just go get him. But like no one is doing that. So I mean, that's a little bit of a red flag for me. But again, I'd be open to it if it didn't cost that much. Like if it was Ty Jerome and a late first, like sure, because Ty Jerome's just not going to get a lot of minutes going forward just because of the roster crunch and how many ball handlers we already have on the team. So he's essentially a spot up shooter for us at this point. I think he'd actually be nice on Atlanta. So I would be willing to do something like that, but I'm not going to go overboard for Cam Reddish.
Yeah. Would you do Cam Reddish, DeLon Wright, and Gorgie Jang to the Thunder for Ty Jerome and Kenrich?
Why would I want all those other guys?
We don't, but Atlanta would like to save money on their luxury tax bill. So they basically get to bring in $4 million worth of guys that are probably more helpful today for them.
Yeah.
And send out it's like 16 million.
Well, yeah,
the Thunder just absorb it.
That deal's not like if you threw in like a Jalen Johnson or Sharif Cooper, I would even be willing to throw in something else to get one of those guys. But just taking back their money, I don't think it's worth it. You're still giving up Kenrich.
Yeah, I guess the argument is you don't give up the first. You get if the price. I don't know that this is the price, but if the price was set by them as a rotation player and a first, yeah, that would take the place of the first. You get to keep your picks.
Yeah, I have no interest in taking back those contracts unless you feel like you need.
They expire.
No, I know, but it's just like to what end? Like I feel like you could get that deal done without having to take back that money. Not that it even matters. Like it really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
there will. Part of my point is like there will be teams that are going to need some luxury tax relief.
Oh, I completely agree. I just feel like that deal helps out Atlanta more than it helps out OKC. You're just like helping them duck the tax.
I don't really have any interest in Sharif Cooper myself, especially.
Yeah, he doesn't make a ton of sense on this team.
Jalen Johnson, I would.
Yeah, for sure.
I would do that. I would if they would throw in Jalen Johnson, I'd do that. But I don't know if at that point, if you do it, if you're Atlanta.
Yeah.
Your owners are hurting.
Okay, next name. This will probably be a quick one. Kobe White, just throwing it out there because he was a lottery pick, not getting a ton of playing time. Is he back? He's back, right?
I think he's just came back. I mean, the Bulls aren't playing, but yeah. I mean, yes. I'm a yes on Kobe White. I'm a flat out yes. I don't know what the cost is.
Really? You're a yes? I thought you would not be a yes at all.
I think Kobe White's good. I think he's a good scorer. Now is he's extremely similar to Trey Mann in like so many ways, except for like he's more of like a proven scorer than Trey is.
Yeah.
In the NBA. But I like Kobe White. I think he's good. I don't know. I mean, if I'm the Bulls, I would just want to keep him, honestly.
You probably do. But, well, we'll come to another name with Chicago coming up. Jackson Hayes feels very available. We don't have a center. He is a center.
What's the trade? I mean, he just got recalled from their G League team. So,
yeah.
A sense of where he's at.
Nope. Like in terms of value, I don't feel like he has hardly any value whatsoever. I mean, he's not playing on a team that's terrible.
The only problem is that he was a top 10 pick by the current general manager. Like if they had a new general manager, I would say you could get him for a second. But because he's a guy that was picked in the top 10 by this GM, I just find it hard to believe that they would, do a second round pick for him. They would just probably rather keep him.
That's probably true. But I did see his name out there, and he's not getting any playing time. And even though it is the same GM, like at some point that earlier, like in previous seasons, that meant him getting a lot of minutes on the actual team.
Yeah.
And now he's not even getting that. So it does feel like even they have fallen out of favor. They're, obviously they would love for him to develop, but it has not happened. And it doesn't feel like it's going to happen now that they have Valanciunas there. Like, when is he getting minutes over Jonas Valanciunas?
Well, he
Never.
won't. Yeah. I mean, he can't even get minutes over Billy Hernangomez. So, like, what's.
Yeah.
I mean, I say yes, like, to this. Yes. I don't know what it takes to get him. Like, the most hilarious trade is Kenrich for him. And that's a bad deal for OKC. But it's funny just in the fact that they had Kenrich. And he was.
Right.
They gave him that little extension just so they can make the Steven Adams trade. And now it's like would Kenrich be their like fifth best player right now? There's like
seriously.
That might be true.
So another guy where, because it's kind of same to like Marvin Bagley, we have center minutes available. I would much rather see a young player than watching Derek Favors, Mike Muscala. As much as I like those guys, they're great.
Yeah.
But I would love to have a guy that you just feel like the ceiling's a little bit higher, even if it's probably not.
Yes, agreed. And Jackson Hayes can jump out of the gym, and it would be. I want to see these guys with somebody that can just get up and go get a lob.
Yeah.
They've got guys that can throw lobs, but they just don't have anybody that can go get them.
And he has shot a few threes this year, shooting 36%.
I'm just don't even mention that, please.
Shooting 36%.
Let's not do this.
Okay. Next, another player on the Pelicans, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and I only included him here just because he has not been great this year. I think we were both expecting him. He's going to have a lot more opportunity now. He's going to be so much better. He's currently shooting 36.7% from the field, only shooting 31% from three. Has not gone well thus far for Naw.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a big Nickeil guy for a while. I would do it. I just don't know. I just don't know at what cost.
That one feels like it would at least cost a first, even if it's a late first.
Yeah, I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me at this point. I just don't. I like him a lot. I just don't know that there's a deal that makes sense to bring him over.
But don't you think part of the benefit of having all of these picks, because I was laying them out, laying them out. I was typing them out. I wrote them on individual strips and have been laying them out on my living room floor. One of the benefits of having all these picks is you could just like throw one of these late ones out there.
Sure.
And it doesn't have as much value to you as it might have to another team.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know that Nickeil would be the guy that I would do that for. He's already 23.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I would be willing to do it for the right player, and he's not a position of need for the Thunder. They have guards. Like, they don't need more guards at this point.
If he was shooting like 38% from three, then they wouldn't be trading.
There would be no reason to trade him.
Yeah.
Like, that's. You have to be able to bet on somebody who's not playing well or somebody that's buried. Similar. I mean, they did that with Tabo. Who wasn't playing a lot for Chicago. Was real young, but had like this upside there that they just,
Yeah. James Anderson makes a good point in the chat that, we talk about OKC's picks. New Orleans is one of the teams that also has a treasure trove of picks. So maybe a pick doesn't even sway them because it's like, well, we have these. They're better than whatever pick you're going to offer. Who cares?
Yeah.
However,
it would be similar to somebody offering like a late first for somebody on our team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, exactly. I see so many deals. I've been reading a lot of fan blogs because it's fake trade season. So many people just want to give OKC more picks. Like, do you know how good the pick has to be for me to even care at this point? For me to even look at what you're offering. Like, I don't want late first anymore. Get him out of here. What am I supposed to do with him? Like, wow. 2023, likely that we're going to have 4 picks, including our own. 2024, likely we're going to have 4 picks, including our own. I don't need another pick right now unless it is incredible. So stop making those trades. I saw a terrible trade on a Kings blog where they did a 3-team deal to get themselves Ben Simmons, to get Philly SGA, and they gave us Marvin Bagley and 5 picks. It's like, I don't care. I don't care. Even if they were all unprotected. Who cares? Okay, next. This is the last one in the 2019 draft. We know his name is out there. THT, Taylor Horton Tucker. Any interest there? He's already signed to a deal. You don't have to worry about like giving him an extension or anything. And it's not like a ton of money.
No, again, it's the guard crunch thing.
But he's bigger.
He's 6'4".
But he's big.
He's big. He's wide.
He weighs 234 pounds. He weighs
he's a thick daddy. There's no doubt.
40 more pounds than Chet.
Yeah. He's 20, 25 pounds more than Kenrich. What's
He's
the
21.
trade?
He just turned 21. So he's still young.
Okay, well, I'm trying to construct a trade. I like THT. I'm a fan. I think he's good. Also, like, there's also the fact that, like, different from like the opposite of like the Jackson Hayes deal, where it's like THT might help you. You know,
possibly, yeah.
He might help you. So Kenny Hustle, Mike Muscala. Who else?
Is that enough to get you to the money? Because that right there helps LA.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Thunder don't have to match anyways.
Oh, that's true.
I'm just trying to think if there's a way. The problem is that it's just AD, Westbrook, and LeBron, and THT, and $1 billion minimums. You know,
yeah. But they can just you can send them players, and they'll just cut some of those minimums.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I
of their
I'm
minimum
ways to help save them money. You know, that's like it's something the Thunder can offer teams.
Yeah. Well, that would save them money if you just did Muscala and Kenrich.
It would. I'm just trying to help them out a little bit more.
Why are you trying to help them out so much? Why do you care?
I don't know. I really don't know.
They shouldn't care.
You're right.
They're not having to pay for Alex Caruso, so they should have some extra money laying around.
True that. Oh, hold up. The trade machine hasn't been updated because Muscala can't be traded until December 15th.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Taylor Horton Tucker cannot be traded until March 3rd because he re-signed using bird rights with a 20%.
All right. Well, never mind. Forget it. Wait, is that true? Wait, that can't be true because all of the Lakers trades right now are about THT.
I don't know. That's just what the trade thing says. Let us know in the chat if you know about
Let us know in the chat if you know a lot about THT's contract.
It also says that he can't be traded until December 15th. So maybe it is. I don't know. Get your stuff together, Fanspo.
We trusted you. That's why we left ESPN's trade machine.
We did. Long ago.
Letting
me down.
Okay, so those were the guys in the 2019 draft
that
I picked out. I will say someone in the chat said, what about Bol Bol? I mean,
sure.
If it was literally cost nothing.
Yeah, if that 23 Wizards second rounder, sure.
They can have it. Okay, so now we move to the 2020 draft, which was not last year, 2 drafts ago, I guess now.
Yep.
Starting at the top, starting hot, what do you think about Patrick Williams? Now, I think it'd take a boatload to pry him away from Chicago, but if you're Chicago, it feels like this is your window.
Mm-hmm.
Your best player, I mean, Vucevic and DeRozan are over 30 years old. Like, if you're not going for it now, when are you going for it? And do you really believe that Patrick Williams coming back from a major injury is going to significantly contribute to this team in the next year or two? Maybe, but it didn't seem like it was that way yet. Would you be willing to take, I don't know what it would take. Maybe 2, 3 firsts? Would that interest you at all?
Yeah, it would. If they're willing to play ball with something like that, then yes, it would.
Because they lost a lot of their pick capital in the Vooch trade.
Yeah.
And so if you could replenish them with some picks, and I would even be willing to throw in a Kenrich Williams in that deal.
Oh,
and that's a deal where it makes you worse right now because Patrick Williams is not playing. but it gives you a lot more upside for the future because he was a top pick.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that. I mean, legitimately, if you're talking about a real trade with them,
Yeah. Give it to me.
it's probably Lou, right?
Oh, really?
Probably, don't you think? Like, if they want to win now, like seriously, Kenrich is good. Kenrich is not moving the needle. You know who's moving the needle is Lou Dort. And if you want to get Patrick Williams on the Thunder, you have to give up something real. Like future first and Kenrich is like that's fine. That's not getting you Patrick Williams. Like,
But
if you,
it's
really
three
wanna-
first. What if I said 3 first? I said 3 first.
I just don't. I don't know how much that would really interest the Bulls. Like they want to win today. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that would probably be the price. If you actually want to play ball and if you want to make a deal for Patrick Williams. I mean, for that I would say no. But
Where's he even getting minutes though? Like where's Dort getting minutes when you have Levine, Ball, and you still have Kobe White and you still have Alex Caruso?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like Dort can play a lot bigger than he is too. So like I don't know. I mean, you put Lou on that team? I mean, that's a monster team.
I'd say you put Kenrich Williams on that team, monster team.
Yeah, I'm just you know what I mean though.
Okay, what about this? What about this? 3 firsts,
Mm-hmm.
Kenrich Williams and JRE.
Ooh-wee. I think I would still not 3. I don't know about 3 firsts. That's a lot. I would do 2 firsts, JRE and Kenrich for him.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that. Legitimately do that. I think Pat Williams has got a ton of potential.
It sounds like he's a guy you'd be willing to overpay for if for some reason Chicago was willing to talk about it. And there's been no reporting. I picked him out because he's injured. They're a team that wants to win right now. That's the only reason I brought him up.
They're not doing that. It's not going to happen, but absolutely I have interest.
Okay. Next one, similar situation in Atlanta, Onyeka Okongwu, who is dealing with injuries as well.
Yeah.
They already have Clint Capella, who's been very good for them. Is there a scenario where they think, oh, maybe we could upgrade for right now because they're kind of struggling?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like he hasn't played a game this year.
Yeah.
For them. I know they really like him though. It would probably similarly take a lot to get.
It would take this is probably another Lou Dort conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not willing to go there, but I would definitely do Kenrich, whatever bad money you guys want to get rid of.
That's true. We can help them out that way as well.
We'll take it. We'll take DeLon Wright. We'll take Gorgie Jang back. There's $12 million. I mean, even if they were like, and Gallo's like helpful enough to them, but if they were just like, if they're like, we just need to get rid of Gallo's contract, I'd be like, yep, we'll do it. You know,
yeah,
these are the kind of things you do, and then you probably have to attach a pick. Even so, like Kenrich, a first-round pick for Gorgie Jang, DeLon Wright, and Onyeka Okongwu. Like, yes, 1,000 times yes.
And I'm sure in their mind they're thinking, you know, we have all these big contracts right now. Like we've already signed a lot of guys. I mean, they just signed Herter. Like they already have Capella, Trae Young, Bogdanovich. Gallinari, I think, is in his final year. But they have a lot of big contracts. They're probably thinking we have to hold on to these young rookie scale deals.
Yeah.
And hope that they develop. Because what else are we going to do?
They're not going to trade Okongwu. But
okay, well, next one.
If he became available, yeah, I would jump all over that. Like I think Onyeka fits with this group very well. Very, very well.
Okay, I have 3 more in the 2020 draft. Next one, Jay will love this. What about Obi Toppin? The Knicks have been bad. Yeah. They clearly need a roster upgrade. Are they really going to play Toppin and Julius Randle together long term? Doesn't seem like they really want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So when is he ever going to get minutes on this team? Do you have any interest in Obi Toppin?
I really don't.
Okay.
You?
He would be a vet on this team.
Yeah, he would. He'd be older than so many of these guys.
He's going to be 24 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't have interest.
Okay. Next one, Jalen Smith. Just throwing him out there because we know that Phoenix, didn't pick up his
Nope.
fourth year. Okay. Not even for just a second, a nice looking second.
No.
Play him at center.
He's stiff. No thanks.
He's stiff. No thanks.
Yeah, athletic. If you're going to bring somebody in, like, get me a Jackson Hayes kind of guy. Like, go get me somebody that can jump out of the gym that actually has potential. Like, Jalen Smith doesn't have potential. Like, he just doesn't have it. If he did, they wouldn't. They would keep him and keep trying. But
do you know what his nickname is?
Mm-mm.
Logs.
Yeah. Do not bring me anybody whose nickname is Logs. All right.
His legs are as stiff as trees. Apparently. Why would you be called Logs? He's also known as Sticks, which is a better nickname.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Not even for a second. So
No.
you would rather watch Favors and Muscala and Roby the rest of the year than just trying out Jalen Smith for a second. Just see what it looks like.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Final one. Slam and Jam team. Aaron Naismith.
Yeah.
For the Boston Celtics. The Boston's, at least from the outside perspective, I know they've just beat the Bucks, but their roster just feels like a mess.
Yeah.
Like similar to OKC, they had all these picks. They spent them on a bunch of role players. How many of those role players have actually turned into anything? I mean, they're starting Grant Williams, so maybe you say Grant Williams.
Time Lord.
Time Lord. Okay, Time Lord. Time Lord's a good one. But Aaron Nesmith only played 9.6 minutes per game this year, averaging under 3 points per game. They clearly aren't prioritizing his development on the court in any way. I don't know if that means he would be available, but Boston obviously needs something.
Mm-hmm.
And Naismith is maybe that's what's so confusing about it. Like if you look at all their young players, because obviously they're going to keep Time Lord. Mm-hmm. Like who has the most value out of all those guys in a trade? Like when you think about Pritchard, Langford, Grant Williams, Aaron Nesmith, like who of those guys do you even want?
I don't know.
I'd probably say Naismith just because he was just drafted.
I'm a Nesmith guy. Yeah, I'd do Kenrich for Nesmith.
Okay.
Would you?
Okay. I would say that's your. I mean, as I would say, you're president of the Kenrich fan club.
Yeah.
That's the most surprising thing you've said thus far about Kenrich's value this entire time.
Yeah, the Thunder just need shooting so badly, and that's what Aaron Nesmith does.
Right.
And he hasn't shot the ball well this season, but
he is not.
I'm still a believer in him. And Kenrich helps the Celtics a lot. He'd play a lot for them. The Celtics fans would love him. And also, I love Kenrich, and I want him to be on this team forever. But there's also the fact that it's harder to tank when he's on this team.
Yeah, that's true. And
he's on this team.
And I've also we talked about it last week, but how long we talk about how Kenrich is the kind of guy you want to have on the next good version of the Thunder.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to ask yourself, how long is it going to be until that happens?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
and would you rather invest that time into another young prospect?
Yeah. I mean, I would take a swing on a young shooter in particular, that's where I'm okay. That's what I would do it. James Anderson says that OKC was reportedly interested in Nesmith the day of the draft too, which was true. There were a lot of rumors about him being the pick, the Poku pick.
Poku pick.
All right. Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting deals to be had out there. Will they make one? I don't know. History says yes, that they will make a deal because the Thunder always make trades.
And really the point of that exercise was, I don't know if you feel this way, but I just feel that the current roster, there are minutes available for prospects around the league if we wanted to try them out. I am not so sold on every single young player on this Thunder team that I can't even imagine bringing in someone else to play minutes over them.
Yeah. I mean, the guys I'm sold on, Shea, Lou, Giddy.
Yeah, and we would like to see more minutes for Man, and
Man,
we would
I'm a Man guy. I'm a JRE guy.
we would eventually like to see more minutes for Poku, but
Yeah.
even those right there are so many minutes at the power forward position and the center position. Like, you could totally imagine a scenario where they traded for a younger guy who plays one of those positions, and he comes and he's playing like 20 minutes by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's not like crazy to think.
Yeah, true.
And why not?
Why not?
Just get a look at someone.
Mhm.
I just want to look at someone, Andrew.
Just let me look at somebody. All right. Speaking of looking at somebody, I got to go watch Poku. All right.
All right.
You guys have a great day. We will talk again on Friday.